Hey everyone, so the other day I asked you to give me the craziest possible requests and ask me anything you want. If this is anything like last time, there's going to be some pretty weird requests, so let's see what we have. Can you get Danny Sapko into Berkeley? I think they actually just introduced a new rule where you have to have written at least 2 songs before you can apply. Play whatever bass guitar line left-handed as clean as possible. Okay. Can you and Burnt swap instruments and both still be brilliantly virtuosic? Well, thank you. We actually did do this on our tour, both the China tour and the European tour. So if you want to find out if we can really do this and make it sound good, you better get a ticket for our next tour. Who's your favorite Pokemon? I've always had a soft spot for Bulbasaur for some reason. Which book would you say is a must-read for bassists? The Music Lesson by Victor Wooten. Play Moonlight Sonata 3rd movement on bass. Okay. What should be the very first thing someone should do to learn if it's their first time picking up a bass? You want to get your basic fingerstyle technique down, and then once you've done that, I would actually recommend learning your favorite songs as quick as possible. I actually explain all of the basics in my course 30-Day Bassist. What is your most hardest bass line? I would say right now it's probably either Slapocalypse or Labyrinth. Slapocalypse, you know, is just very crazy slap, but Labyrinth is actually surprisingly difficult. It doesn't sound as hard, it's slower, but it's very easy to get lost, hence the name Labyrinth. But my real hardest bass line ever is coming out on January 9th, so mark your calendars for that. Metropolis Part 1 by Dream Theater on 1 fretless bass. Okay, this could be tough. What kinds of music do you absolutely despise? Okay, I don't think I despise any music, but there is quite a lot of music that does absolutely nothing for me. I know this is going to sound very cliche and probably exactly what you expect, but a lot of just modern pop in general doesn't really make me feel anything. I've noticed there's not a lot of melody in pop at the moment, and that's not even me trying to just look down upon pop or anything. It's just literally a technical fact. Most pop seems to be sort of more rhythmic based, which is fine. I also like rhythm, but I do really miss some really nice, well-written melodies. And also melodies that last longer than about 2 or 3 seconds. What's the theory of relativity? Well, as Einstein himself famously said, listen to Danny Sapko speak for a minute, it feels like an hour. Listen to Victor Wooten play bass for an hour, it feels like a minute. That's relativity. How do you avoid getting ill on tour? That's actually very tough. On the European tour, we had this kind of no contact policy between everyone on the bus. So we would obviously still talk to each other and everything, but we just wouldn't like shake hands or hug or anything until maybe the last day. I do all the usual things like washing my hands and trying to get as much sleep as possible and eat relatively healthily. But sometimes it's just impossible. I actually did get a bit ill on the last few days of the European tour. I managed to avoid it completely in China and Australia, but sometimes you just can't. In your opinion, what does more to improve your skill as a bass player? Learning songs or doing exercises? A mixture of the two has always worked best for me. Sometimes you can just really hit a wall when there's a difficult song that you're trying to learn, and the only way you can ever break through it is with some exercise that's designed specifically to address that problem. This happened to me with Power by Marcus Miller, but then I tried doing these pentatonic speed exercises, and suddenly I found that I had the ability to play those fast runs. What's your biggest advice on getting yourself out there on the internet to get people commissioning you to record bass for their songs? Before I was really doing YouTube, I was doing a lot of online session work on websites like AirGigs, Fiverr, and SoundBetter. I think those are all still great places to do this, so I would say make a profile on those 3 websites and then make a really good portfolio of your best bass lines, your best work you've ever done. Set your price low initially. I had my price really low at the beginning. It was like $10 per bass line. But you've got to do this because probably no one knows who you are, so you've got to kind of do some very low paid work in the beginning just to build up your repertoire, build up your 5-star reviews and your kind of notoriety. And then once you've got all of that proof that you are a legit bassist who can deliver great results, then you can start putting your price up to a more reasonable price. Which DAW are you using? Logic Pro, Vivaldi's Winter. Come on guys, this is too easy. What are some of the best bass learning methods? There's 4 ideal bass learning methods, and they're called 30-Day Bassist, the Slap Bass Blueprint, Mastering the Masters, and the Basscamp Patreon. Any collabs soon? Would love to see Charles Bear 2 and Nathan East. Let me know in the comments right now who you want me to collab with next. Of course, you're very into music, but what about other hobbies? I actually hate music. No, I'm joking. I spend so much time in this studio and inside my head, so when I'm trying to relax, I usually like to do something outside and something physical, so something like hiking or running. I also like grilling. Really, just anything that gets me out of this room. Make a song with only tapped harmonics. What separates an intermediate bass player from an advanced player? I think to sum it up, it all comes down to the stuff beyond the notes. You might have learned all of the notes of your favorite very tough bass solo or bass line, but then the question becomes, how clean are you playing it? How good is your timing? Is your tone good? The best way to test yourself with this is to record yourself. If you've never recorded yourself, you might be in for a little bit of a shock. I know from experience, the first time I recorded myself, my time was way worse than I thought it was, but you learn so much from doing this. What does your playing/practice routine look like nowadays? Well, I spend about an hour and a half, really practicing. So that's where I'm practicing things that have nothing to do with any upcoming videos. So it could be exercises, or it could be songs that are just in my overall repertoire. At the moment, I have a particular focus on slap and double thumb, and also introducing new music theory concepts into my compositions. And then usually on a daily basis, there's about another hour or 2 where I'm practicing stuff for upcoming videos. What's the meaning of life? To play as much bass as humanly possible. Enjoy the time with your family, not making content. Okay, I think that's a good moment to stop. Thanks so much for an amazing 2025. I truly appreciate your support, and I have so much fun making these videos for you. I just hope that you enjoy watching them too. And I hope you had an amazing holiday. Let's have a great 2026, and I'll see you in the next video.